I want to start things off with the captain's question. So my question of the week, and I'm going to go straight to JBot, since
Oh,
I kind of know one answer. It's a three-part question. What are your three favorite ships in X-wing?
oh, it's got to be pertain to the game, right? Okay.
Yep.
Well, obviously, the first one I think you know is a
Right.
gimme is the Hawk. And I think I've talked about that at length. Um,
Hawk the Slayer.
yeah, the Hawk, obviously. I won't go into all the details since I bored everybody with that in the last episode. Wow, the other two favorite ships, and it's not just obviously I'm not going to base this just on their playability since I'm not really the
Just
best
whatever
judge
you
of that
like.
sort of thing.
Whatever.
Off the top of my head, I really like. It's a new ship. I'm not going to know the right name of it, but I always call it like the E-wing on steroids, but it's a scum ship. It came out in the wave previous to the one that just came out. I know I'm not really narrowing that down for anybody. Um,
The
yeah, whatever. Like I said, I
Not
can't.
the Carax fighter, is it?
Yeah, it's a Carax. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like I
You just
said,
go
to me it
like,
looks. Yeah. To me it looks like an E-wing on steroids. Is kind of the way
Yeah.
I've always thought about it. And it's hard for me to hate the E-wing either. To me, those three ships they just seem like kind of a mix between spaceships and fighter ships. Obviously, the Hawk is more of a just kind of my classic. I'm a kid and I drew a spaceship. Look at me, sort of ship. And then the other two just feel like really kind of hunkered down, sporty. Lots of guns and fast flying sorts of ships. And I guess that's what I lean towards more than I do the big kind of heavy ships and stuff that the rest of the game has.
Cool. Excellent. All right, so co-pilot, Philip.
I would say that number one would be your classic X-wing, T-65. Just because, it's
It's
a
an
general
X-wing.
awesome. It's an X-wing. Come on, doesn't have to be a complicated answer.
Right.
And then going from there, I think actually the E-wing, which is sort of weird. Not a whole lot of people out there love the E-wing for being an E-wing, and if anybody is listening to this, I'll probably catch some flack for expressing any endearment for the E-wing. There's so many people
Not
out
going
there.
to get any from me.
Yeah, well, so many people out there don't like it for that the laser cannon above the canopy because that's unrealistic and we can't have an unrealistic
totally.
spaceship in Star Wars, guys. Come on.
Totally unlike a couple of actual fighter jets that exist in the real world that have the same thing.
Right.
Well, anyway, I sort of like it for just being like a second fiddle type ship. I feel like it's the unloved version of the X-wing in the books. Anyway, and then I think for number three, and I'm not real clear on number three. I think probably the B-wing. It's just a cool ship.
You see, I
Pretty
got a
tough.
grudge against the B-wing because when the B-wings came out, they knocked out the X-wings.
Yeah.
And I just like X-wings. I like them, and then it's like, oh, no one wants to play an X-wing because it's B-wing. Oh, B-wing is so great, so cool. Everyone thinks it's all so good. So,
We're
right.
veering into Phantom territory.
Oh boy. Here we go.
nowhere near. Nothing else is a special hatred in my heart like the Phantom. But little bit of the dark side inside me is the Phantom. But okay, so we can move to the chief engineer, and I have to say, please don't get too technical. Talk about space hemis and
Darn it.
just you could say it's got engine stuff, and
Yes,
okay,
very well. I'll keep it, kosher. Okay, so my three favorite ships. My number one favorite ship, I think, is the Lambda class shuttle. Ironically, the shuttle that we're on right now. When that came out, I just loved playing with it. I loved that it was bigger. I loved that it was slower. I loved that it was the only ship at the time. In fact, you could let me know if it's still the only ship that has a zero stop maneuver.
yeah. Well, it's not the only, but
The YV666 has one now.
Okay, so it has one too. But at the time, at least when I first started playing, that was the only ship that did it. It was just so cool. It's like, what? I'm just going to stop moving. Are you going to bump into me? Yeah, you are. And it was just so cool. I love that. Also, being the chief engineer, I love a big ship where I can not be in the cockpit all the time and go down to the underbelly and work on the engine. Haha. So I do like the Lambda class shuttle a lot. Also, it's very iconic for me. I loved it in the movies as well. But I do love to fly it. I love that it could accept crew. And along the same vein, the Decimator is one of my faves. For me, when again, early on in X-Wing, I would play Imperials, my wife would play Rebellion, and I was always jealous of the Millennium Falcon. I was always jealous that she could fly in a circle and she could shoot me from any angle. That was cool. I really wanted that. I wanted that so bad. I love turrets. And I didn't have one. And so when the Decimator came out, it was like a birthday celebration. I was so excited, and I immediately got one because it was the coolest ship I had seen, especially for Imperials. Third favorite ship, and this is probably actually tying with my first, believe it or not, but is the TIE Interceptor. But of the TIE Interceptors, it's the Royal Guard TIE Interceptor. I'm absolutely in love with first of all, I love TIE Interceptors. They're a really nicely manufactured TIE, and it's very fast, obviously. But the fact that there's the elite TIE Interceptors, not even the Suntir Fell. What do they? I can't remember the name of his squadron. What do they call his squadron again?
Was it Raid?
181st.
Okay.
181st. That's right. It's not any of their elite. It's the Royal Guard elite. These are the guys that escort Emperor Palpatine when he's on his shuttle. They are bright freaking red. I mean, they are not hiding out in the void of space. They are right in front of you. They're like, "Hey, you're coming after me, buddy. I'm looking right at you. I'm going to shoot you. You're going to go after that shuttle Tydirium? Nope, you're not. You're going to see me right in front of your sights, and I'm shooting lasers at your face." I love that. I love that kind of like that ballsy, that cockiness with the red paint scheme. It's just very cool to me. So those are my three.
Excellent. Well, I will say, as a captain, I always did not want to get stationed on a Decimator because those are long-range patrol crafts, and I don't like to be out that long in deep space, So, some people actually like those. Most of us captains don't. So, just to let you know. All right. So for mine, I have to say, playing in Wave 1, I started with Imperials, and I love the humble TIE Fighter. Because so many people, I think, who start later in the game, particularly after TIE Interceptors have come out, really just dismiss the TIE Fighter. Like, oh, you start talking about arc dodgers, and people are like, well, TIE Fighters aren't really arc dodgers. I'm like, look, people were talking about arc dodgers before the TIE Interceptor came out, and they were talking about the TIE Fighter. It's the original arc dodger, okay? Yeah, sure, you get better with boost and barrel roll, but if you can get good at a TIE Fighter, the generics, the named ones, there's like so many different levels of TIE Fighter. You can do so much if you know what you're doing with the TIE Fighter. And I don't mean flying in formation, because that to me is boring. TIE Fighters, a TIE swarm, actually, I don't know, swarms the enemy. And TIE Fighters, I think, like, I've won tournaments with TIE Fighters. And just like when you can out snooker and you do that barrel roll in someone's way, and they're like, oh, crud. You can see their face falling because you set it up where that one academy got out there, and that one sucker is surrounded by a bunch of TIE Fighters are going to get blasted. Like, to me, TIE Fighters are the best. I like them.
Nice.
Mm.
Excellent. All right, and then 2, I'll say the TIE Bomber, because I love Ordnance. I loved them before they were fixed. I think they're very versatile. I think like the one bank barrel roll, you can just kind of roll backwards from where your starting position. There's a lot of stuff you can do with a TIE Bomber, and it's surprising, and it's not such a bulky ship as people think. So I'll just go with that.
Nice.
And 3, I'm a bit tied, to be honest. 3 is very hard for me because on one hand, I like T-65 X-Wings. When I like to play Rebels on occasion, and I like to just throw out some X-Wings, just pew pew pew, and just they're great ships. They're fast. They hit hard. I don't care about barrel rolling or boosting or whatever. I want to fly some good ships and launch some torpedoes at epic ships, and I like X-Wings. They're pretty cool. But I also really like the Star Viper. I did Shizor with Prince Shizor with Z95s, 5 Z95s, and I I almost made it. My last game, my dice crapped. That was an opponent that I wanted to face, a decimator. It can't dodge. I was going to win this, and my dice were so bad. I flubbed it, and I missed the top 16 by that much. But people named that list Prince of the New Power Generation.
Very good.
And like a lot of people bag the Star Viper, but I think you could do a lot with it if you know what you're doing. You know?
Yeah, you could definitely have a good list with Shizor, because he could be so tanky with as long as he has those buddies around, and then if he survives to the late game, Shizor is really quite good.
Yeah, I came in second place at a tournament with it once, and yeah, very good. And I had to say, honorable mention, I like the Seek. I don't know why I like it. Everyone hates it. I like the way it looks. I like to make an Ion Seek. I like even just Seeks with nothing on it. Just I like to play Seeks. I try very hard to make them effective or throw them in lists, for the fun of it. But that's an honorable mention.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I always get those the Shizor ship. That one always gets torn up every time I try and fly it.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a simple ship. Yeah, it only works well in certain lists, I think.
I remember blocking a fat Chewbacca, I think it was. He tried to do his too hard turn and then boost to get out of the way, and you go ha ha and shoot at me. And I threw one of my Z95s way out there. If he had done anything else, he was just doing nothing. But the look in his face, I killed Chewbacca in 2 rounds. It was great. All right, okay.